The film opens on a cold, silent night in a Canadian city. Catherine Weaver stands rigidly beside the window of her dim apartment, clutching her phone with shaking hands. Her voice trembles as she speaks to the police dispatcher, explaining that her abusive ex-husband, Mike Weaver, has found her again. For several nights, a car has been parked outside the building, unmoving, watching. She's certain it's him. When the officer asks if she saw his face, Catherine hesitates. She didn't. She only felt him, and without proof. The police dismiss her fear as paranoia. Her teenage son, Cameron, wakes to the sound of her panic. He watches her anxiously, realizing that once again, the world isn't going to protect them. Catherine decides they can't stay. With frantic urgency, she begins packing their belongings. It's a ritual Cameron knows all too well. They've been running for years. At 15, he is exhausted by the constant moving. He doesn't share his mother's terror of Mike. Sometimes he wonders if she exaggerates their danger. Before sunrise, they leave the city and head deep into the countryside. Catherine longs for a place where no one knows them and nothing can follow. As they stop for breakfast in a small town, she scolds Cameron for using social media. One careless post could expose their location. Despite her love for him, fear rules everything she does. Their journey brings them to a quiet community called Wolf Hollow. Catherine immediately feels drawn to the isolation. At a local restaurant, they meet Ken Armstrong, a friendly real estate agent who offers to show them available homes. He's polite, gentle, and clearly interested in helping. But Cameron watches him warily, suspicious of anyone who pays too much attention to his mother. Ken takes them to a modest, older house on a peaceful stretch of land, surrounded by fields and thick woods. Catherine likes it the moment she sees it. Exploring the inside, Cameron notices the basement door is locked. Ken explains it's simply to keep animals out, and casually mentions the attic has been sealed off as well. In one of the rooms, Cameron discovers a jar filled with marbles. Small, colorful, out of place. When he returns to the hallway, the basement door now hangs open. Curious, he descends into the gloom. The basement is cluttered, dusty, and unsettlingly quiet. Then, out of nowhere, he hears a whisper. "Cameron!" Startled, he slips and falls. Catherine and Ken rush to help him, but Cameron insists he just tripped. Catherine decides on the spot they'll take the house. That night, she tells Cameron she may even get a job soon. Ken's secretary recently quit. She promises that this time, they'll settle down for good. Later, after she leaves his room, Cameron looks at a framed photo containing his father's phone number. He hasn't spoken to Mike in years, yet he never stops thinking about calling. The next day at school, Cameron feels out of place and alone. When he returns home, his mother is out shopping. Drawn back to the basement, he goes downstairs and unexpectedly meets a neighbor, Art Sinclair, sorting through old boxes. Art is strange, but not unkind. He asks Cameron to help carry some things outside. When Cameron asks who used to live in the house, Art just says, "Only a boy," and refuses to explain further. That night, Catherine asks Cameron if he made any friends. He snaps, insisting there's no point when they're always running. She tries to reassure him, saying Ken offered her a job, but that only angers him more. He storms off, feeling trapped in a life he never chose. While doing homework, Cameron hears noises outside. Looking toward the barn, he sees a figure in the window, a human shape watching him. A whisper calls his name. Dogs begin barking viciously, and then everything falls silent. He decides not to tell Catherine. She already thinks he's struggling. The following day at school, a local bully named Cody and his friends warn Cameron that the house is haunted. They claim dogs once attacked the previous owner, that the place is cursed. Cameron brushes them off, but the story lingers in his mind. Later, back at the house, he checks the barn. It's empty. But in the basement, as he sorts through old boxes, he suddenly sees dogs barking wildly at him. Terrified, he flees. The barking fades as quickly as it began, leaving him unsure of what was real. That night, he asks Catherine if she knows anything about the house's past. She doesn't. He lies, saying he needs the information for a school project. After dinner, he searches online but finds nothing unusual. Around midnight, he wakes to a boy standing in his room, pale, silent, staring. Cameron screams. Catherine rushes in, but the boy vanishes. She assumes it was a nightmare. Wanting answers, Cameron goes to visit his neighbor Sinclair. Sinclair isn't home, so Cameron quietly looks around and finds old photos of Jackie and his parents. When Sinclair suddenly returns, Cameron slips out before being noticed. On his way home, he sees Jackie again standing in the cornfield and yells at him to leave him alone. Suddenly, two dogs appear out of nowhere and chase him. Cameron runs home, slams the door, and tells Catherine the dogs tried to get inside. But when she opens the door, nothing is there, leaving both of them confused. The next day at school, Cameron asks another student about the house and its dark local legend, hoping to learn what really happened. Ben tells him that the former owner, Frank McTavish, was rumored to have been attacked by his own dog. dogs. Cody's grandmother also believed Frank harmed his wife and daughter. There had been a major investigation, but nothing was ever proven. People thought Cody's grandmother had lost her mind, so she was kept in a mental hospital for a while. Now she lives in a nursing home. While they're talking, Cody suddenly appears and starts hitting Ben. Cameron steps in, fights back, and ends up breaking Cody's nose. Other kids record the fight. When Catherine finds out, she is devastated. They were trying to stay hidden, and she fears this trouble could expose them. She also worries Cameron might be becoming like his father. At home, Cameron sees Jackie's ghost again, but this time he isn't scared. Through Jackie's words and visions, he learns that Frank was cruel and hurt Jackie's mother, and Jackie still blames himself. Suddenly, Catherine hears noise in Cameron's room. She rushes in and finds him hurting himself, trapped inside one of Jackie's visions. She pulls him out and holds him as he breaks down. The next morning, Catherine apologizes. When Cameron asks if she thinks he's losing control, she reassures him that he just needs help. She says Ken recommended a good therapist and wants Cameron to see him. Hearing this, Cameron snaps. He hates that she shared his private issues with Ken. In anger, he shouts that she always called his father terrible. But maybe she's the real problem, and he hopes his dad finds him and takes him away. Catherine is deeply hurt by Cameron's harsh words and doesn't know how to help him. Tensions escalate when Cameron secretly calls Mike. Mike feigns concern, manipulating Cameron emotionally. Strange events continue: shadows, whispers, and dogs barking. Jackie helps Cameron understand the house's dark history. Later, we see videos on Mike's phone of Cody and Cameron fighting. Someone had posted them online, and now Mike knows exactly where they are. That evening, Ken is supposed to pick Cameron up from school, but time passes and he never arrives. Eventually, Cameron sees a car pull up, but instead of Ken, it's Mike, his father. Shocked, Cameron asks why Mike is there and where Ken is. Mike tells him not to worry, but when Cameron tries calling Ken, he realizes Mike has Ken's phone with him. Cameron instantly knows something is wrong, and Mike angrily orders him to get in the car. Panicking, Cameron asks about his mother. Mike has already taken Catherine hostage, and Ken is unconscious in the trunk. Realizing this, Cameron finally understands how dangerous his father truly is, and why his mother kept him away. He also realizes it was Mike he saw in the barn that night. Now Mike talks about getting rid of Catherine and taking Cameron with him, but the moment Cameron gets a chance, he escapes and runs into the woods. Mike immediately chases after him. Cameron begs Jackie to guide him, and Jackie tells him which way to go. Then Cameron hears dogs approaching. Mike catches up to him, and when Cameron struggles, Mike points a gun at him, insisting Cameron belongs with him. Suddenly, a pack of vicious hunting dogs, just like Frank's, appear and attack Mike, tearing into him. Cameron runs in fear and collides with Art Sinclair. Crying and shaken, he clings to Sinclair, who tries to calm him down. The scene shifts to the house where the police have arrived and now know everything Mike has done. Art Sinclair is there as well. An officer explains that she doesn't know who attacked Mike. She assumes it may have been wolves, but no one has seen any in the area for years, so nothing is certain. Art then tells them about Jackie. He says there is another body outside, one he buried himself, and that it belongs to Jackie. Art explains he once believed Jackie's mother had run away, knowing Jackie's father was a terrible man. Jackie had promised to meet him one day but never showed up. Art assumed Jackie's mother took him away after Frank's death, but he was wrong. 10 years earlier, a massive storm hit the area. When Art went to check Jackie's house, he found Jackie's body locked inside a trunk in the attic. The day the dogs attacked Frank, Jackie hid in the trunk and got trapped. He couldn't get out and died there. Art becomes emotional, saying he should have called the police, but no one was looking for Jackie or even remembered him, so Art buried the body himself in a place Jackie loved. He also reveals he witnessed Frank murder his wife and Matthew. The officer says they can't prove anything without bodies. Cameron then tells them the bodies are buried in the barn, Jackie told him. The police search the barn and find the bodies. Maybe Jackie only wanted the world to finally know the truth about his father. He was a restless spirit waiting to be freed. In the final scene, the family visits Jackie's grave, and the film ends.